Hey, welcome back to another Read the Bread podcast here. Man, great to be here. Just had about 3 orange cream cokes with Hannah, and pretty wired up. But anyway, yeah, it's just a beautiful day here in Ohio. We're getting a little bit of sunshine. Got the window open, so you probably hear a little bit more birds and traffic, and the trains will probably be louder, but we'll be okay. If you're new to the Read the Bread podcast, welcome. This is just a weekly podcast where I go over just different song ideas that have come to me during the week and diving into different scripture verses that have been diving into during the week. So today we still got this, we're utilizing some harmonics. And this is the same tuning we've been playing with for a couple months now, and we are still missing that string. But it has influenced how I've kind of played the guitar, missing that one string, and just continue to show up with it and see where life guides it. So anyway, hope you're doing well wherever you are listening. May be blessed this week, and let's dive in. So this is more like just melody, not even really words. Back to do do boom do do ba na ba. Like 4 times here. And then I don't know where to go after that, so. You guys want me to just kind of see what comes out, just kind of jam a little bit? Let's give it about 5 minutes. This is jam with this, so. This is what I would normally do, just kind of noodling around. So we already have what we have. So basically I would just kind of go back to this riff. Let's see. Almost like you're kind of trying to listen to where the next part would go. So obviously we just need something after this riff. I kind of like that. No. Kind of hard to reach that. I can almost hear it in my head. It's like a... So I guess I would just kind of like hum it then, so... I guess it is that note. I mean, I don't want to play the same thing that I always play, so. Ooh, how about that? I like that. No. So actually there's another, we could go a different way because it was, no, that's something I would always usually play, so we could actually do that. So it'd be, I really like that, but I don't have anything after. Sounds like all the other stuff I played. How about that? Kind of like that. Oh yeah, I forgot we're not doing that. Nah, it sounds like everything. I mean, to me, it's just trying to come up with something new. I mean, I always have the same kind of riff. To me, I picture like this river. I actually met one of Hannah's students, not her student, but a fellow student. We saw him at Wendy's today when I was slamming down those orange cream cokes. And, you know, Hannah, God bless her, she is so social. And, you know, she's like, hey, you know, can we sit with you? And I'm thinking, the boy looked kind of shell-shocked. He's in, he goes to school with her, but he kind of looks shell-shocked. I was like, Hannah, come on, don't be bugging this guy, man. And she eventually talked him into it. I was like, well, go ahead and ask his mom. And so it was his mom's sister. And man, it was fun. We got to talk to somebody new, get to know him. And the kid's mom's sister is named Rivers, like a Rivers. And I was like, man, that's amazing. And I'm just thinking of this song, and it just kind of reminds me of kind of like a river, because when it comes to that one part, it just kind of takes off of that's where I'd add some drums. I really want to go to that next note there, but that just seems like I always play that, so. So anyway, I feel like it's some kind of a river song. So anyway, I'll keep noodling with it or not. Sometimes you just, I don't know, you want to keep your eyes and ears open in your heart to any kind of inspiration. So I feel like kind could be something there. But anyway, man, that's about it music wise. It's a fun one to play, but these songs sometimes they just kind of plop out, and sometimes you have to chisel away at them. And a lot of times I just don't have the time to sit down or I'm not disciplined enough to sit down and keep diving in. Now this came out, Hannah and I were watching a movie the other day, and it was just, the riff just hopped right out. There was no thought. I mean, it just and there was no thought about it. It just organically came out. But then, you get to that part of, could actually do it again. There's a lot of different ways we could get into this, but I don't feel like boring you guys out. Sometimes we've done those songwriting sessions. I don't know if you guys like them or not, but to me, it's a lot of work. You're just kind of chiseling away, trying to just something that feels good, something that's new and interesting. To me, I've already played this one riff just probably a million times, so usually like to try and take a different path if possible. So anyway, hopefully I haven't bored you guys out too much with that. Let's take a break. For our break, I would like to put a invitation out for the Man Quest. This is an annual Man Quest. This is going to be the first one, and this is actually a pilot one. This is going to be free. Requirements are that you are a man, you have to be married and have a wife and have kids. So it's not for everybody. It's going to be a pretty intimate group. Be able to invite up to about 12 men. This is going to start next month. It's going to start on Father's Day, and it's an invitation for men who are married and have kids. It's going to be a 15-week comprehensive. It's all about the action. It's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes a day. There's something new every day for us guys to be working on. To me, it's a beautiful thing. Kind of unscripted, unplanned. It just kind of happened, and kind of like a song. But man, I would love to invite anybody listening. If you know somebody with a young family, I would love to invite you to invite them to the Man Quest. I'll put a link in the description of this podcast, and feel free to sign up before those seats get taken. But yeah, definitely super excited for this Man Quest 2025. Again, we'll be starting June 15th, 2025, and 15 week. We're going to be working on ourselves. We're going to be working on our relationship with our wives, with our children, our relationship spiritually. And it's just daily and weekly homework of sometimes doing stuff that's not quite natural for us guys, which I would say would be to slow down and listen, to get rid of some selfishness and contribute to the family and become a better leader for the family. So if you know somebody or if you're interested, click on that link. I'll explain it a little more in that link, but this is the year to do it because it's a pilot group, and I feel like it's going to be very valuable for a man who is looking to sharpen up iron to iron, to be a better man, to be the best person that they can be. So, okay, with that, God bless. I really don't, for the scripture this week, I don't have a whole lot. You know, I read a little bit in Psalm 69. I thought it was pretty interesting of the prophecy of, it was David writing it, but it was the where it said like they mixed gal or something with and vinegar and they gave that to me or something. To me, just the prophecies and with Jesus aligning to that just blows me away. But that's about it, guys. Man, I usually try and keep a little mini scripture in the vehicle or, you know, while I'm at work, just something to kind of peek on. But man, this week I've really been diving in. We're taking this spiritual formation class, and it's through Ashland Theology. It's a school in Ashland. Man, and I'm just so blessed to be able to be taking this class. But it's awesome because it's new for me. I mean, you guys know me. I'm not really the most disciplined person. The word discipline kind of, I kind of cringe just hearing it. During my spiritual journey, I would say that I've never really been disciplined, or in my entire whole lifetime. It would not be the description for myself. I would say God's grace and His mercy is probably my biggest description. God's patience with me, just amazing. But this course is, you're having to pick out 3 different prayer disciplines, and to me, that they're all new. The ones that have, I would say, been calling out are new to me. So there's a lot of different ones. The ones that I picked was a labyrinth walk, which I still don't know what the heck it is. It's where you go in and you, what's the word? You to start off, you bring in a gratitude and you let go of like control. Like, this is from my understanding. You're letting go and you're coming to the center of this union with God, with God's presence. And there's supposed to be some kind of gratitude in there. And you're trying to, I don't know if you're trying, but the intention is to slow your mind and release, and to be in God's presence. And then when you leave, it's to take God's Spirit with you. And, that's from what I know of on that one. The other one that I've committed to is, there's a prayer of the ordinary, they call it. And it's an invitation for the Spirit to go along with you during the ordinary day. So, which I really like the sound of that, because I get so bored with routine. If you guys have listened to the podcast for any short amount of time, you know that I'm not too big on maintenance and routine. It's not my stronghold. I like more adventure, something new. And so that is why the spiritual life has really rung true for me, really attracted me to it, because there's something about when you trust God and you step out in faith and you, do a trust fall with God, and you see when He catches you, man, you see faith come alive and work in your life. And to me, I feel like I've always been this doubting Thomas, and, to see God work in your life, it's a beautiful thing. And sometimes, not just God working through other people, but God working through you as well. Neat to see. It's neat to experience. But but yeah, so there's that one. I'm excited for that one. And there's another one, Prayer of the Imagination. I'm not sure if it's going to be that or if I'm going to do the breathing prayer, because our instructor, Brenda Buckwell, she wrote a book on all this stuff. And I'm going to read a little bit from that book. I'm also going to read a little bit from Foster. The book is just called Prayer, and I just read just a little bit in here, but the way they have it, the way that Brenda has it is, she's put a lot in here, and they have it's called an examine question, and it's pretty interesting because it sparked something up inside of me of I always thought I was a pretty spiritual guy, but man, going through some of these questions, and there's only 3 of them, I really see that, man, I do a lot without God, like, and maybe some of these disciplines will help me have more of that union and that living prayer of, well, like I talked about earlier, more of the ordinary life, prayer of the ordinary, of inviting God into each moment and just being aware of His presence, and to me, just more importantly, inviting God in and being able to see more through His eyes, or have that lens of expressing God's love. Never been an easy thing for me, but so here's some of these questions, and check this out. This is from page 38. This is the name of the book from Brenda Buckwell is Spiritual Direction and the Metamorphosis of Church. Man, this book has been awesome. There's so many questions in there. It's like a soul-searching book, and I am just so thankful that I get to go through this class with her. So anyway, this is, to me, I feel like I'm on the same page as her, because she talks a lot about the hurried pace of the culture and how silence is, it's not a skill that people practice anymore. And in order to hear that quiet, still voice of God, you can't have all the distractions. You have to be disciplined in a way. And I feel like I'm on the same page with her on that. But anyway, page 38, here's just kind of, there's some reflection questions. I'm not going to go through that, but this says from St. Ignatius, it says, remember to use your examine questions each day at noontime and evening, which is, to me, that's amazing. But here's some more from St. Ignatius. This is from Brenda. Still your mind and heart this day. Take a few deep breaths. It says, inhale the power and presence of God, and exhale all that is resistant and overextended within you. Inhale the power and presence of God, and exhale all that is resistant and overextended within you. Once you have calmed your interior heart, ponder these questions. So, if you want to pause, you can pause and do your breathing. And I feel like this is some of that breathing prayer, breath prayer, which I've never tried it. Never tried it. So then we're going to dive into some of these resistances that I have a lot of them. Here's the examine question. The first one, when and how have you been consciously aware of God's presence, creating, acting, comforting, loving, empowering, encouraging, and listening throughout the past 6 hours? You can pause there if you want. Then that second one, when during these past 6 hours, or you could do maybe even at the end of the day, when during the day have you been unconsciously aware of God? Time of unconscious awareness of God is not thinking of or making any notice of God's beauty, presence, or energy. And then that last one, what will you do tomorrow that might assist you in becoming more consciously aware of God throughout your day? Now, to me, that nailed me. That question nailed me because to me, it's very rare moments when it seems like I'm on autopilot. I'll pray in the morning. I've been praying for guidance in the morning for forever. At the same time, it's kind of automatic, kind of repetitive prayer. And so to be able to practice this discipline of ordinary prayer, of inviting God into just ordinary life, just regular experiences, situations, I'm looking forward to it because I've seen God work in my life many, many different times. And I'm excited to keep diving into that spirituality. We've got a train. Hang on a second. I'm going to take a little quick break here. Okay, we're back. Actually, my parents are here, and I might get interrupted a little bit, but that's all right. I'll just like to finish up and then head out there and check in with them. So, from this book called Prayer from Foster. Let's see if I can find his first name. Richard Foster. Man, this book is awesome too. We've been diving for this class. This part here is actually from a different guy, but just kind of going on the topic that we've had. It says, the many diaries and journals of Frank Lebach are a disciplined adventure into the examine of consciousness. I take it that those are the same questions we just went over. I think especially of his game with minutes, in which he sought to see how many minutes in a day he could become conscious of God's presence. On New Year's Day, 1937, almost 100 years ago, he wrote, God, I want to give you every minute of this year. I shall try to keep you in mind every moment of my waking hours. On another occasion, he notes, God, after a sleepless night, I open my eyes laughing, for we are together. Sleep is not necessary. Disturbances like that man coughing below me all night are good for character, if I do not let them keep me from you. So, just kind of going back to that, he sought to see how many minutes in a day he could become conscious of God's presence. To me, that's a whole nother level. I feel like going through some of these questions, it's humbling, it's disappointing for me because I see how much I do without inviting that spiritual or that spirit to be a part of what I'm doing. I feel like I'm almost on an autopilot in a way. And in a way that's not so bad, but I would like to be more conscious of God's presence. How does that work? Well, we have the indwelling Holy Spirit in us. When you've reached out to Christ and asked him into your heart and accepted his invitation to have him join along with you. I think that's the first start. Putting your trust in Christ and asking him to be a part of your life, to giving up some of that control and the surrender. That's a great start. At the same time, yeah, I've done that, but to me, there's more work to do. There's more. To me, it's allowing God's Spirit to live through me, and I'm not so good at that. So this is fun to be able to kind of look back and question, well, how many times did I invite God in to the situations? Yes, I'm doing it in the morning. I've done that for a long time. But what I would like to be more aware of God's presence. And so I think this is a good step. Now, when we talked about breathing in the power and presence of God and then exhaling all that is resistant, to me, I took notes on Brenda's teaching that she taught by a video, and here's some of the resistance. And I would say this is more resistance towards the silence, and that's one of the first ones that she put is fear of silence. And to me, I've always got something going on. Radio, some kind of noise, the kids hear. And so it's a precious commodity to me when I do get some quiet and try and still myself. Now, with this course going this year, well, this summer, we have to practice like a half an hour a day for these disciplines. And to me, it's going to be consciously making extra time. I'm not sure if you guys want to join along with me. I mean, to me, it's something new. It's something exciting to me. I can't wait to see what God does. At the same time, I think it's going to be a lot of work. So another one of those resistances, feeling unproductive or procrastination. Guys, feeling unproductive, that's always been a big one for me. Like, I always feel like I need to be doing something, getting something done. And so if I'm not creating or getting something done and just hanging out, just doing nothing, like, to me, I know people, I have friends that are very good at doing that, of just doing nothing, just chilling out on the back porch, outside, hanging out on the couch. You're just chilling out. To me, it's very hard to do. So that's another one of my resistances to silence. Being bored, yeah. Fear of not being in control. To me, you guys know me, man. I am a control freak. And the more I look inside, the more I see of how controlling I am. And it's a big challenge for me. So to be able to let go of some of that control, or to practice turning that over to God, I feel like it's just it's going to be a huge challenge. At the same time, I feel grateful to be able to practice to let that go. This says a resistance of not knowing how to or where to go to find sacred space. So almost like that labyrinth. To me, I've seen that before. I've gone to meetings over there and I've seen that thing. I've just never done it. So anyway, so there's some of that resistance. Well, this says creating sacred space, ways of responding to resistance. So I know my resistance. It's the controlling. It's trying to control people, the situation. That's always been a huge thing for me. Not being productive. And to me, there's this kind of, shying away, or just kind of fear in general. So this says ways to respond to that resistance. Turn to wonder. The spiritual life, God, to me, he is a wonder. Like, when you see some of the miraculous things that he's done for me, and just his perfect timing, and the way he has the ability to connect people and situations, to me, it is a wonder. I don't know how God does it, but he does it. And I could tell story after story on that. This says another way to respond to that resistance is creative arts, to get beyond the logical thinking. And a lot of times I think music kind of does that for me. It's just it's like a flow. You're not really thinking about it, but just like that riff, the thing just jumped out. There was no containing it. And, and maybe that's when I get thinking about it more, it's harder, but it's a joy and a privilege to be able to be a part of that inspiration and try and create something out of it. Another way of responding to resistance is holy listening skills. I don't know exactly what that means. To me, maybe like a respect towards God and getting quiet before Him and trying to silence those thoughts, or just being in God's presence. To me, there's nothing like it. To me, I've had a very undisciplined way about it. Is I just keep it so dang simple. I've never been able to mess it up. I just go to the beach around here and I ask God to be with me and I start walking. So to me, maybe it's a combination of that walking and just being in the environment and trying to slow down and listen to God's leading or what He's saying, or to me it's inquiring, or just even dumping on God, just letting Him know kind of what's going on with me. I'm sure we'll learn more about that. Next one is intentionally looking for Christ within ourselves and others. To me, that'll be a new one. I have really no experience of. I've heard it before, like you hear the Imago Dei or whatever. Pastor Beachy would say that in our last class, and the Imago Dei, and it's seeing the image of God in others. To me, that's a rare thing for me. So, and especially in myself. So, that'll be interesting. Another way of responding to resistance, seeking God's wisdom individually and collectively. This Brenda, she's keeps asking these questions of, when do you come into community and talk about this stuff? When do you share your hopes and dreams and what's really going on with you? And to me, it's disappointing because, man, it's really rare in a community. Now, I've got my 12-step sponsor, John. I've had him forever. To me, I've just kind of grown used to just doing a lot on my own and not really opening up as much. I feel like with that man quest, like I have Mark as my man mentor in that, and to me, going through those questions with him has been huge. I mean, I didn't think that I would get so much, but Mark he's not a guy who's giving advice. He's bringing his own experience to the table. And the more he shares about his parenting styles, what he did wrong, what he did right, how he communicates and works with his wife, the more I take away, like, yeah, I want to try that. And, I want to give that a shot. And, to me, that's the closest. Oh, come on. To me, that's the closest I've been in community. I mean, I love going to meetings. I go whenever I can. Had a great one today. There was maybe 6 people there. There was some intimate sharing, and I really live for that and enjoy that. So, yeah, going through those questions that Brenda had really challenged me and kind of disappointed me in a way of, dang, you know what? In a group, I'm really not going over these questions, so it'd be nice to find a group possibly. This says placing the other or self and or blessing. Under a blessing. So placing the other and self, I can't even read my writing, something blessing. So blessing others, not so easy for me to do. Detachment of people, things, and places. Most attached to God. So letting go of people, things, and places. Man, again, that's not easy for a control freak like me. And being more attached to God. I like it. I like talking about it. I like the thought of it. to me, it's going to be a whole nother thing to live that. It says being a non-anxious presence on how to respond to resistance, which means not correcting other people. I wish I had more of that marked out by her. I feel like she was trying to teach us of having that non-anxious presence of being okay with silence in a community. So she talked about going to church and usually sit by the same people, and yeah, that's great because you build that belonging. But what about people that are new or somebody who's a little bit more shy? Like, it doesn't help with that. And so she talked about going to this retreat and how they left space for God. They didn't sit too close to each other, and creating that, paving the way for that non-anxious presence, where you're not trying to fix somebody or correct them. To me, man, I would say we live it in the 12 steps. It's a very non-judgmental environment, and yeah. And then this last one for ways to respond to the resistance is Christ praying within us. So, man, when you get to that level, oh, that's a whole nother level there. So, anyway, man, I feel like I've just ranted. I feel like a lot of this is new, and I'm excited to dive into this semester. So, thanks for sticking around, and we'll keep you posted. We'll kind of go from there.